Hello, and welcome to the show Goldsquadrongays. It's the podcast where two Star Wars loving gays break down each episode of their favorite Star Wars TV shows while also being gay as hell. I'm your host, Bradley Brower.
And I'm Charles Rogers, who really needs to learn to check the schedule before he posts to Twitter which weeks we're going to be off. Because I posted to our Twitter account that we were going to be off the week of the 15th. That was wrong. This week on The Thing, Charles fucked up. Charles fucked up when these episodes are coming out. We're actually going to be off next week, the 22nd, for Thanksgiving, and I will not be available all weekend next weekend because I will be off planet.
Yeah, you're going somewhere. I think you're going to Batu or something.
Yeah, there's some shitty backhole planet on the outer rim. It's supposed to be, relatively close to the major trade routes, but I'm not seeing it from what I hear personally.
I've never heard of it, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's kind of hipster, kind of out there. You wouldn't hear of it.
Right.
So for this week, originally what we had planned to do was real fast. Bradley is on the road, bless his heart. He's coming to us from another interesting hotel. Yeah. And we were going to take some time to go over the various reveals and announcements and trailers that were presented at Disney Plus Day, which at time of recording this was today.
And it's so crazy because that's not only I feel like since our last recording, we also got the Book of Boba Fett trailer dropped.
We did. We got
everything.
We were like, let's take a little time.
Right.
To, kind of not do recorded episode, then release it, recorded episode, then release it. The episodes that are going to be coming out between now and Book of Boba are recorded in clusters.
Right.
So we were almost like, let's take a little bit of time, and then boom, a whole bunch of things happened at once. We're not going to talk about the Boba trailer, but because basically nothing was revealed for Star Wars at Disney Plus Day, we're going to do something a little different. We are going to pretend like we're a news show for a week. So I've highlighted 4 major things, 2 from Disney Plus Day, the 2 things we got from Disney Plus Day.
Okay.
And then 2 other things that happened in the intervening time, and we're going to do a short episode just talking about them. First up on the docket, and I will say, preface before we start, I'm going to put a little rule mostly on myself that we're just going to talk about stuff that is confirmed.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Stuff that I've heard, Bradley, that you and I have talked about over messaging, because to the surprise of people, we do not just talk once a week to do this show.
Right.
We're not going to bring any of the stuff that I've just kind of heard through the grapevine up. We're going to stick to just stuff we know.
Gotcha.
First item on the agenda is Rogue Squadron, the Patty Jenkins helmed film, has been delayed slightly. Yes. It was slated for a 2023 release date. They were hoping to go into pre-pro, I think, by the end of the year. And that's just not going to happen. They say it's because Patty Jenkins has some other commitments that she has to honor first, and then she will come back and do Rogue Squadron.
Right. And I was looking it up too. So it says that supposedly she has 2 DC films that she's doing. And I was like,
so Wonder Woman 3 and
there's something called it's like an Amazon's spinoff. So it's like just Amazon's or something. I don't know. I think she's writing that. So I don't know if that's necessarily like that as it's a different kind of intensive because she's writing it. Man, so I think she's directing Wonder Woman 3 and she's writing the Amazon spinoff.
DC's like, we have exactly one property that is working. Let's milk that one for everything we've got. Good grief. I personally was heartened by the news that the film would be delayed, and hear me out.
Yeah.
Because part of the issues that arose, I feel like, from episode 9 and from Solo slightly. And I'm fine with both of those movies. But I feel like part of the issue was they were into the weeds and things were not working out. And they switched directors and just kept going full steam. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's heartening for them to say, we have a director who wants to make this project. We like what's going on here. Things need tightening up. We're not going to be able to make this deadline. Rather than swapping out directors and trying to hit the 2023 release date, we're going to back off, let her do her thing, and then come in and make the film she wants.
But I wonder though, like, why this particular film, right? Like, why can't she just get another one? You know what I mean? Like, how involved was she in the process to this point to where they're like, oh, well, we can't remove her from this project? Not in like a removal way, but like she's busy. She's too busy to direct. She didn't write it or anything. So it's like, she's only coming in to direct. So like, let's just put her on a different one.
I feel like she's pretty instrumental in the development of it. And like, from the way she was talking, because it doesn't seem like the writer's just writing it and they've already sold a script and they've brought her in. It feels like a more collaborative process behind the scenes with this one. Like, similarly to how J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio did it for Rise of Skywalker, or Abrams and Lawrence Kasdan did it for Force Awakens. It feels like she's more involved in the process this time, because she feels like she was talking in that Disney Investor Day video about how like it's a deeply personal story to her. Like, her, I think either father or grandfather was a fighter pilot.
Okay.
So she like really wants to make this movie.
Gotcha.
So I would rather us get a good movie.
Yeah.
And have to wait another year or two for it, personally.
Well, and it also seems that too, like, I don't want to say I'm Rogue Squadron forever, but I also think it seems like maybe that this is truly a standalone film. Like, we're really getting into that, like, what they claimed they were going to do last time, which was, let's do all these one-off movies.
Right.
Even though the only 2 one-off movies they did connected to other things.
And even fucking Solo was supposed to be a trilogy.
Yeah, I know.
They pitched it as another trilogy. Like,
right.
I feel like what they're kind of angling to do is that the TV shows are going to be world building and little character stories, whereas, which you notice, all of the TV shows seem to focus on one specific character.
Yeah.
Whereas the films are these big event moments that you go to the theater and you see this on the big screen. So it kind of feels like that's an evolution of, we want to do the main films and then the solo films.
Right.
Because they didn't have Disney Plus when that was being developed.
Exactly.
But fingers crossed that Rogue Squadron won't be delayed too long. We are getting plenty of Star Wars to make up for it.
Yes.
It's not like we're going to be in a drought.
No, not for a while.
And speaking of not being in a drought, Andor got a release window.
Nice.
Did not come from Disney Plus Day.
Oh.
We didn't hear shit about Andor in Disney Plus Day, except a logo in the main Disney Plus video confirming that Andor exists.
Which we
also
knew
the Bad
2
Batch
years
exists.
ago, right?
Yay!
Gotcha.
The CFO of Disney mentioned, I forget the context of it, but it's gonna premiere in Q4 of next year. So we have an actual release window for Andor.
Nice. I like that. We have that. Remind everyone, what's the time frame?
The time frame is August to October. Somewhere in there, Andor is going to premiere.
So it's going to be a Halloween themed show. Nice.
Yes. Yes. Everybody's going to dress up in spooky costumes.
Right.
It's going to be, we're going to go back to Vader's castle.
No, the joke there being that the new Hawkeye show is holiday themed, so the Andor has to be Halloween themed.
What if I want a ridiculous Christmas in New York Star Wars show, Bradley? Why can't I have? I would make a joke here of why can't I have my Star Wars musical, but that actually exists. So
it does.
Yes, we could do a whole other episode on the fucking fan-made Star Wars musical and how much I love that so much.
Oh, I was thinking
ridiculous.
I thought you were saying that like the original Star Wars movie could be made into a.
Somebody did.
Okay. I don't think that's. But see, that's the thing. I don't think that's the best one to do a musical.
In like the mid-aughts, yeah, somebody did a musical version of A New Hope.
Oh, see, I don't think that one's good for a musical. I think there's actually a better one that you could do.
Which one are you going to say, Bradley?
You may be shocked at this, but I think that Rogue One would make a really good musical.
I'm listening.
Okay, hear me out. Because of the fact that, those characters are only in that one thing, right? There's not a lot of like, we don't have to go back and explain everybody's backstories and stuff like that. Like there doesn't have to be like going into the play. You don't have to necessarily know anything about the play, right? So all you have to know, right, is the original plot or the original little tagline in Star Wars, like they said in the crawl, right? That little one line of the rebels who did something, blah, 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 Death Star plans, right? That's all you need to know backstory wise. And then there's so many moments.
Is it bad that I can see this in my brain? Speaking as a guy who has written a musical in the past, I can see this in my brain.
Yes. I can literally see like the finale. Like you can see Jin and Cassian, they're literally holding each other and the lights go really, really bright to make it seem like the Flash is coming towards them. And then they disappear because it gets so bright, and then they disappear under the stage, and then they're gone when the lights go out.
Oh my God. I can't believe you forgot Cassian Andor's name when this was a tangent from talking about the.
I know. It took me a second because I was like, wait a minute. We were just talking about him. Why can I not think about it? So.
Because it's a no bones day, Bradley. That is the answer. It's a no bones day as of recording this. No, I'm happy that they gave us an actual fucking release window this far in advance. Like it makes my soul thrive to be able to actually make plans to record this show, because I know that sometime between August and October, we're going to start our Andor coverage.
Oh my God, that's so weird. Because I keep going back like, okay, we're going to finish Book of Boba probably in like March-ish. And then, God, Bad Batch should probably start around then. And then after Bad Batch is Kenobi. And then after Kenobi, like we'll have like maybe a break. I don't know. Like it's hard to say.
Because now they're talking about maybe Mando. Because if Andor is coming out in Q4,
right, you can't necessarily do that right back to back.
That frees up December,
right,
for a potential other release, Mando season 3, which is currently filming right now.
That's so strange. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, well, I'm excited for all that, but anyway.
It's very exciting stuff. I'm really happy that they're giving us some actual windows of like, when is Andor going to come out? Because we know Kenobi's going to come out next. Bad Batch sometime in 2022. What if Bad Batch is... No, because if it premieres in like, say, September, then it'd be like December. Even if it's 8 episodes, it'd be like November, December.
God, it's so hard to say.
I don't know. By the way, this is a semi-accurate recreation of our scheduling meeting that we have every week. It's this
every week. Where we have the same conversation.
This exact conversation.
For like, is it coming out this week?
How do we structure this?
Right.
So let's get into the Disney Plus Day stuff.
Cool.
Real fast. I want to talk about the Boba Fett documentary real quick. Now, Bradley.
Boba Fett. Boba Fett where? I'm just gonna keep saying that joke.
He's made that joke more than once today, by the way. No, we got the Under the Helmet, which is the Boba Fett documentary. Now, Bradley, disclosure, Bradley has only gotten to, at time of recording, watch part of it because, as mentioned, he has a real job that actually makes him do stuff outside of 9 to 5 working hours. And I basically sit around for the back half of my 9 to 5 and do very little. So
I've only seen the first 10 minutes of the 22-minute documentary. So
22-minute documentary.
There you go.
Really good documentary, though.
I mean, for what I've seen so far, it's pretty good.
They got fucking Ben Burt, fucking George motherfucking Lucas is in this documentary. Daniel Logan shows up at one point. He tells like a really nice story about his kid, his son, and their family's relationship to Boba Fett. Just a really good. My absolute favorite. I'm gonna minorly spoil it for you, but it's just a beautiful moment. Dave Filoni talks about the idea of developing the Boba Fett show and describes it as taking Boba Fett out of the Darth Vader case with the action figures and putting him into play. And I thought that the way he describes it was just beautiful. Just like so beautiful and relatable. It's nice to be reminded that Dave Filoni is one of us.
Yeah.
Like he has those nostalgic childhood memories, and one thing that makes him really good is his ability to tap into that. Like he understands that.
He just has more power than us.
Correct.
Because if we had that same power, we have a really crazy, well, at least I would have a really crazy looking all-female Asajj Ventress Captain Phasma show out there, and then people would be like, what the fuck is this?
It would be a lot gayer. Star Wars would be a lot gayer. And it would have a lot more lady villains in it.
It would be lady villains and dudes making out with each other all the time. That's all it would be. And people would be so sick of the show. They would be like, why the fuck am I watching Star Wars Riverdale? Like, that's exactly what my show would be.
Oh my God. Yeah, I was minorly annoyed. And I complained about this on Twitter earlier, but I will complain about it here because this is my biggest platform. I get being disappointed that we didn't get more. Especially since there were a lot of credible people saying to expect more, and the Disney and the Star Wars branding and Disney Plus branding was specifically saying, save the date,
right,
tune in. And then at least for Star Wars, nothing happened. I understand the disappointment. I feel like people are letting that disappointment overshadow the Under the Helmet documentary. Because it's a really good documentary and it has some really good moments. I don't give a shit about Boba Fett, personally, at all. But the documentary does such a good job. It covers Star Wars history. It covers the development process. There's a toy collector, briefly, that goes into like the spring-loaded toy that we were talking about on this show.
Right.
We were talking about at one point why Boba Fett was so endearing, and this documentary covers it. Like I said, Ben Burt, Daniel Logan, Dave Filoni, Kathleen Kennedy, George motherfucking Lucas is in this. Like, it's not that long. Please go watch it.
Well, I'll definitely have to finish it because I was intrigued, and honestly, one of the things I love about at least the behind the scenes about the Boba Fett character is the all white Boba Fett suit.
That is such a cool story that they
know. It's so cool.
About how they put that. Love it. About how they put that together. And it's the same suit. I didn't know that. Yeah, I love it. It's the same suit. They only had they made the suit and then George decided we don't have the budget to make more of these. Repurposed the character into the bounty hunter, and then they went in and just scuffed up the suit.
Yeah.
And repainted it. And it's exactly the same. The white suit and the suit that you see in the movie are the same suit. Like, I didn't know that.
That's so cool.
But speaking of people's disappointment in Disney Plus Day, let's get to our final item on the list. Let's talk about the Kenobi sizzle reel that was leaked the day before. here's another issue that I have. People would have lost their fucking minds over this sizzle reel if it had not been leaked the day before and spread by a bunch of fan sites who did not say that it was a leak.
Right.
Because, like, I shared it with you.
Right.
And I wouldn't have done that. I thought it had randomly, thought that it had randomly dropped ahead of Disney Plus Day.
Right.
And I, went to go look for it on YouTube at one point, and it wasn't there. And that's when the wheels started turning. And then finally I saw somebody, I think it was Adam Lance Garcia on Twitter, talking about, please don't share leaked stuff. And I'm like, oh.
Oops.
Oh, dear. People would have lost their minds over this thing if it hadn't been leaked early.
And I will say it too, after watching it, I really wish they would have tried to keep Hayden Christensen a secret. I don't know how hard it would have been, but can you imagine? Just let's take a step back for a second. It's Disney Plus Day, 4 hours ago and plus hours ago, whatever. And we had no idea anything about Kenobi other than the general cast, not Hayden Christensen.
And we would have just found out that Hayden was going to be in Ahsoka.
Right.
So we found out that Hayden would be in Ahsoka a couple of weeks ago.
Exactly. And then they would have dropped this sizzle. And then in the sizzle, they would have been like, he's like, oh yeah, I would have gotten to work with Hayden again. And then Deborah Chow was like, oh yeah, Hayden Christensen's back. Everybody would have freaking lost it.
Yeah, I feel like, this would have hit a lot different, particularly with the Darth Vader breathing. Mm-hmm. When it cuts to black and his breathing starts. What makes me wonder, though,
when this was made,
apparently a year ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Is what I heard. We're not speculating too much, but I heard that it was made about a year ago for some other call, and it was repurposed. But if they're willing to sell this show to the masses on Hayden Christensen, Darth Vader is going to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
So we know, thanks to the concept art, it's going to be Darth Vader. I know concept art doesn't really tell you what's going to be in the thing, but all the concept art we had of Vader was Vader in the suit. So we know Vader is going to be in it.
Right.
If they're willing to sell the show on that, what aren't they telling us?
Well, the only thing I can think of is in the sizzle, I think it's Deborah Chow who talks about how it's dangerous to be a Jedi during the time frame that this show is taking place, right?
Yep.
So she says
we see
really
an Inquisitor
dangerous
in the trailer. Right. Now it's not the second sister because she's super dead, but we do see an Inquisitor in the trailer.
Question: is the second sister the one from the video game?
Yes. So the second sister is the one from Fallen Order.
Got it. Okay. Cool.
That is.
So people think that girl is, or we know she's dead.
We know she's dead.
Okay, quicker.
She got pretty definitively deaded at the end of that game. I'm not going to reveal the context, but if you have played the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, cool. So we can eliminate number 2 on the list of Inquisitors. So how many are left? 11?
The only Inquisitor... So the thing is, that's concept art, right? And
doesn't mean anything. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. So
it doesn't mean anything. It's literally just, let's throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what happens. So they probably just were doing some mock-ups of Inquisitors and used a design they already had.
I think
if I were to guess.
Plus, also the sheer fact that I think I don't know how many are in the comics or whatever, but I mean, theoretically, right, we could just say, oh, here's just a couple that you didn't know about.
Yeah, as far as we know, there are 19 Inquisitors.
Okay.
No, actually, because I don't know if there's a first of either one. So maybe 17.
I mean, I only 17. Knew about 9.
We have 2 through 9. 2 through 9, sister and brother, and then we have the Grand Inquisitor.
Right.
So it could easily be it could be Inquisitors that we've seen before, and they're just making the jump from animation or comics to live action. Could be completely new Inquisitors. There's some we just don't know yet.
Right.
There's a couple of interesting ones that were developed for the Darth Vader comic. The question would be, who on that cast list is playing an Inquisitor?
Well, what's funny is I remember when I think it was an interview with one of them where he was talking about how he was, I think it was, oh God, I wish I had the cast list pulled up. He was talking about, I think he leaked in an interview how he talked about using a lightsaber. How he practiced.
Moses.
Right.
Moses.
So I think he's an Inquisitor. I think he's
she. It's Moses. Oh fuck me. What is?
Oh, I thought it was.
It was an Instagram caption. Unless you're talking about a totally different interview.
I'm talking about the guy. When I see his face, I'll know it.
We're doing some on the air Googling.
On the fly Kenobi cast lookups.
On the fly Kenobi
Sung
cast.
Kang.
Okay. Because I know Moses Ingram also
Yeah.
talked about playing with lightsabers.
Okay, well, Sung Kang talked about it in an interview, and then he is officially listed on this cast. I don't know where they're getting the information, though. He is listed as fifth brother. So
Okay.
I don't know who did that.
Good. You said it so I can talk about it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is that a leak or is that just an accident or what is that?
That's not, I don't think anything's been officially confirmed.
No, I don't think so.
But I think it's pretty, because he's not listed that way on IMDb.
Right.
But a while back, a story broke like a couple of months ago that Sung Kang might be playing the fifth brother, which is the big Russian Inquisitor from season 2 of Rebels. Do you remember that guy?
He's the one who never shows his face, right?
No, that's the 8th brother.
Oh.
The 5th brother is the big scarred up gray Russian guy.
Oh, he's playing the
guy.
The alien looking dude?
Yeah, he would be playing that guy.
Oh, that doesn't seem right. I don't know if that's true. How tall is this guy?
The character is super tall.
Well, no, I mean, I'm talking about the actor. He's 6 foot, so I guess maybe that might be true.
Well, we got some interesting stuff there. I found there's 2 points I want to bring up about this.
Okay.
Because we're trying to keep this episode relatively short. There's 2 points I definitely want to make sure I bring up.
Okay.
First is I found it interesting the way the back half of the Sizzle was cut together to make it look like Obi-Wan and Vader were actually dueling. Like we have the concept art of them dueling, but then there's the clips of them. And they look like they're edited in such a way to look like they're fighting. The other thing that I want to is that I heard a really good theory. So you know the concept art where Vader's like looking at a hologram, right?
Yes, I saw that.
So I saw a theory on TikTok that it wasn't actually that he was receiving a transmission from someone. It's that he might be looking at a holocron. And the only holocron we know that projects a hologram that would be relevant to this would be the Obi-Wan Kenobi message from Rebels.
Oh, yeah.
I regret to inform you that our Jedi Order, and that he also does in, I think, Fallen Order. So Vader could be watching that message.
Right. Trying to track him down.
That's the theory. So that was everything that we had that I wanted to go over from Disney Plus Day, and then a few things beforehand. Bradley, how did you feel about being a news show for a week? Is this going to be our pivot?
From now on, we'll just do 30-minute shows. And then that way we don't ever have to edit more than an hour every time I edit these podcasts. So then that way my life is easier. Yes, there's more of them maybe, but then they'll be a little less stressful.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the problem with that is we never fucking get any Star Wars news.
I know.
They don't tell us jack shit, Bradley.
I know. We literally will be like, there was a new wallpaper put on the Star Wars website today. And then
there was actually a new cover photo put on the Star Wars Facebook
there
page
you
today.
Go. Perfect.
Oh,
great. That's the news, everyone.
Whenever, because the nature of my current job, my contract position that I work at right now is some days we have no versions of certain work, but we still have to fill out forms that say there was no work in this category today. So I feel like that's what that show would be, is 90% of the thing it would be coming on here and saying, there was no news this week.
There was no news
Lucasfilm told us nothing.
Have a great night, everyone.
All right. As I mentioned at the top of the episode, there will be no episode next week. No episode dropping on the 22nd. It is the week of Thanksgiving. So go spend it with your family or your found family or people who love you, whoever it is healthy for you to spend it with. We will be back the week after. We've got a few one-off planned between now and Book of Boba, and then our Book of Boba episode 0 will be starting right after Christmas. Are you excited, Bradley, to dive back into the fast turnaround time episodes again?
Yeah.
I hope Daddy Boba appreciates this for this.
Right.
Thank you for listening to Gold Squadron Gaze.
Did we forget something? Email us at goldsquadrongays@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at goldsquadgays. And you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Goldsquadrongays. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Goldsquadrongays, where we post this podcast as well as exclusive video content.
Please join us next week and every week for another episode of Gold Squadron Gaze.
I know. I'm thinking about it. I guess that's what I'll say.
We're almost done. Are you thinking about Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor dueling? Because I think about that at least once a day.